Hello, dear students. Welcome to Economics with Bhargav Ma'am. Continuing with our Indian Economic Development series, we are covering chapter number 6, Rural Development. And in this particular video, we'll talk about fisheries. We already know that India lives in villages. Two-thirds of our population depends primarily on agriculture. India has doubled its population in last 50 years. There is too much pressure of population on land. Agriculture cannot take such a big population's responsibility. It cannot sustain. So then what is the alternate? Alternate is diversify. It has got two aspects. First is you change the cropping pattern. And changing the cropping pattern means you pick up mixed cropping, intercropping, crop rotation, but then the simple primitive style of agriculture will do. The other diversification aspect can be that you put your workforce from agriculture to other allied activities such as livestock, poultry, fisheries, etc., and some other non agriculture sector. And in this, we will talk about fisheries and other non agriculture sectors. So, India तीन तरफ से पानी से covered है, and the coastline of India is very big. And जहाँ पे इतनी बड़ी coastline हो, तो fishing definitely become a lifeline of people. So fishing community regards water body as mother or provider. The water bodies consisting of sea, oceans, rivers, lakes, natural aquatic ponds, streams, etc. are therefore an integral and life-giving source for fishing community. इतना बड़ा हमारी कोस्ट लाइन है, इतनी हमारे यहाँ रिवर्स थ्रू आउट लेंथ एंड ब्रेथ ऑफ द कंट्री दिख रही है हमें, तो फिशिंग तो डेफिनेटली is very good for diversification, and fishing holds a very commanding position in our GDP also. In India, after progressive increase in budgetary allocation and introduction of new technologies in fisheries and aquaculture, the development of fisheries has come a long way. Presently, fish contribute production from inland sources contributes about 65% to the total value of the fish production, and balance 35% comes from marine sector, that is sea and oceans. अब हमारे यहाँ की नदियों से जो हमारी internal sources हैं उससे 65% of our production comes of the fisheries. Now, अगर हम GDP में fisheries का contribution देखें तो 0.9% of GDP, that means almost 1% of GDP is coming from fishing. That's a big amount. And the states involved are West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, Gujarat, Maharashtra, and Tamil Nadu. They are the major fishing producing states. अब जब इतना ज़्यादा फिशिंग हमारे यहाँ है और इतनी बड़ी पॉपुलेशन उसके ऊपर डिपेंड कर रही है, तो डेफिनेटली देयर आर फ्यू प्रॉब्लम्स व्हिच नीड टू बी टैकल्ड. सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है कि हम वहाँ पे जो पॉवर्टी है इतनी बड़ी पॉपुलेशन के बीच में, उसको ओवरकम करने की कोशिश करें. क्यों? क्योंकि वहाँ पे अंडर एम्प्लॉयमेंट है, लो पर कैपिटा अर्निंग है, मोबिलिटी नहीं है लेबर की एक सेक्टर से दूसरे सेक्टर, इलिटरेसी बहुत ज़्यादा है, एंड इनडेटनेस बहुत ज़्यादा है. All these problems need to be systematically tackled because a very big proportion of population is depending on this sector, that is fishing. Credit facilities. There is a need to increase credit facilities through cooperative SHGs for fisherwomen to meet the working capital requirement for marketing. We all know without money, nothing can be done. And especially when it comes to fishing, it is such a high risk job. If proper equipments, proper money inflow is not there for their safety, then it's a big question mark that what the government is doing. Then role of women in fishing is not very big if you look at the active fishing. The women doesn't go to sea to catch the fishes. But if you look at their contribution in marketing, it's very big. In export market, it's about 60%, and in inland marking, that is internal market, it is 40%. That is about 60% of the workforce in export marketing is poor women, and 40% in internal marketing are women. Now, when we are depending so much and such a big population is undertaken fisheries, so we need to have some regulation and controls. And what are those regulation and controls? That is overfishing now. ओवरफिशिंग होने से हमारी एक्वेटिक लाइफ डिस्टर्ब होती है, देन पोल्यूशन नीड टू बी अवॉइडेड। हम आज देखते हैं कि डीपेस्ट पार्ट ऑफ सी में, डीपेस्ट पार्ट ऑफ ओशन में हमें प्लास्टिक मिल रहा है। तो वी रियली नीड टू रेगुलेट ओवरफिशिंग एंड पोल्यूशन। फिशिंग कम्युनिटी बहुत ही पुअर तरीके से रहती है। इट नीड्स वेलफेयर प्रोग्राम्स कंटिन्यूसली for their upliftment, for their sustenance of livelihood, for their long-term gains. Welfare programs for fishing community have to be reoriented in a manner which can provide long-term gains and sustenance of livelihood. So this was fisheries. The other diversification sector which is doing very well is horticulture. Blessed with a varying climate and soil conditions, India has adopted growing of diverse horticulture crops such as fruits, vegetables, tuber crops, flowers, medicinal and aromatic plants, spices, and plantation crops. These crops play a vital role in providing food and nutrition besides addressing employment concerns. अगर आप देखें हॉर्टिकल्चर सेक्टर का जो कंट्रीब्यूशन है दैट इज 1/3 ऑफ द टोटल एग्रीकल्चर आउटपुट, और जीडीपी में इसका जो कंट्रीब्यूशन है दैट इज अराउंड 6%. दैट मीन्स horticulture is playing a very big role in giving diversification in the rural development. And if you look at the horticulture's status, India has emerged as a world leader in producing a variety of fruits like mangoes, banana, coconut, cashew nuts, and a number of spices. It is the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables. अगर आप देखें हॉर्टिकल्चर ने हमारे जो फार्मर्स हैं उनकी लाइफ को प्रॉस्परस बना दिया है, उनकी अर्निंग्स बढ़ा दी है. Horticulture has come as a boon. Economic condition of many farmers engaged in horticulture has improved, and it has become a means of improving livelihood for many underprivileged classes. Flower harvesting, nursery maintenance, hybrid seed production, tissue culture, propagation of fruits and flowers, and food processing are highly remunerative employment options for women in rural area. और इसका लाइव एग्जाम्पल है कि आज कितना फ्रूट अवेलेबल है, आज कितने इजीली फ्लावर्स अवेलेबल है. It's all because of this diversification into horticulture. अब हॉर्टिकल्चर में इन्वेस्टमेंट की सख्त ज़रूरत है. बिना पैसे के ना आपका लाइफ स्टॉक डेवलप हो सकता है, ना आपकी फिशरीज डेवलप हो सकती हैं, ना ही आपका हॉर्टिकल्चर डेवलप हो सकता है. तो बहुत ज़रूरी है हॉर्टिकल्चर में इन्वेस्टमेंट इन टर्म्स ऑफ कोल्ड स्टोरेज, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, मार्केटिंग लिंकेज, स्मॉल एंड स्केल प्रोसेसिंग यूनिट्स, एंड टेक्नोलॉजी इम्प्रूवमेंट एंड डिसेमिनेशन. अगर हम चाहते हैं कि हॉर्टिकल्चर प्रोफेशनली ग्रो करे तो हमें इसको प्रोफेशनली मैनेज करना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज दिस इज गिविंग अ सस्टेन्ड लाइवलीहुड टू आवर पुअर फार्मर्स. Horticulture has emerged as a successful, sustainable livelihood option and needs to be encouraged significantly. Enhancing its role requires investment in infrastructure like electricity, cold storage systems, marketing linkage, small scale processing units, and technology improvement in dissemination. जो अदर ऑल्टरनेट लाइवलीहुड ऑप्शंस हैं वो है आईटी. दुनिया भर में इंडिया की आईटी का परचम लहरा रहा है. आउटसोर्सिंग इज बिकॉज ऑफ द आईटी डेवलपमेंट इन आवर कंट्री. अब एग्रीकल्चर में अगर आईटी का कंट्रीब्यूशन हो जाए तो हमारा एग्रीकल्चर तो कितना ग्रो कर जाएगा और हमारे फार्मर्स कितने ही अच्छी जिंदगी की तरफ बढ़ जाएंगे. The IT has revolutionized many sectors in Indian economy. There's a broad consensus that IT can play a critical role in achieving sustainable development and food security in 21st century. कैसे भाई? Government can predict areas of food insecurity and vulnerability using appropriate information and software tools so that action can be taken to prevent or reduce the likelihood of an emergency. हम IT को यूज करके famines, floods, quality of soil, quality of weather, इन सबको पता करके प्रिडिक्ट करके फार्मर्स को बहुत हेल्प कर सकते हैं. आईटी का एक बहुत पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट है ऑन एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर. It also has a positive impact on agriculture sector as it can disseminate information regarding emerging technologies and its applications, price, weather and soil conditions for growing different crops. अगर farmer को एकदम accurate information मिल जाए regarding the soil, regarding the seed, regarding the fertilizer for his area, how well off the farmer can become. अब समझना ये है कि IT is only a tool. It is not an end in itself. हम IT को यूज करके बहुत आगे बढ़ सकते हैं, लेकिन अगर हम सोचें कि IT कुछ है तो IT अपने आप में कुछ नहीं है. Though IT by itself no catalyst of change, but it can act as a tool for releasing the creative potential and knowledge embedded in the society. It also has potential for employment generation in rural areas. Experiments with IT and its application to rural development are carried out in different part of India. और conclusion क्या है? भाई जब तक एक बहुत बड़ा change नहीं आएगा, तब तक हम ये सोच ही नहीं सकते हैं कि हम रूरल सेक्टर को प्रॉस्पेरिटी की तरफ ले जाएंगे, मॉडर्निटी की तरफ ले जाएंगे. आईटी एक बहुत बड़ा रोल इसके अंदर प्ले कर सकता है. प्रॉपर प्लानिंग एक इसके अंदर बहुत बड़ा रोल प्ले कर सकती है. There is a greater need today to make rural areas more vibrant through diversification into dairying, poultry, fisheries, vegetables, and fruits, and linking up the rural production centers with urban and foreign markets to realize higher returns on investment for the product. डाइवर्सिफिकेशन के संग संग हमें इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलप करने की ज़रूरत है, जिससे हम फॉरेन मार्केट को भी टैप कर सकें along with Indian market. So now, moreover, infrastructure elements like credit and marketing, farmer-friendly agricultural policies, and a constant appraisal and dialogue between farmers group and state agriculture department are essential to realize full potential of the sector. कोई भी डाइवर्सिफिकेशन, किसी भी फील्ड में डाइवर्सिफिकेशन सिर्फ तब कामयाब हो सकती है जब आप इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोवाइड कराओ, जब आप फार्मर्स की जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, जो फार्मर्स को बेनिफिट्स चाहिए, वो गवर्नमेंट को कन्वे हो, तभी जाके हम फुल पोटेंशियल ऑफ दिस सेक्टर काम करेंगे. अदरवाइज इतनी बड़ी पॉपुलेशन स्टैग्नेट कर जाएगी एग्रीकल्चर में एंड विल बिकम अ वेरी बिग बर्डन इन कमिंग टाइम्स. हम एनवायरनमेंट और रूरल डेवलपमेंट को अलग-अलग नहीं देख सकते. बहुत ज़्यादा पॉपुलेशन का अगर प्रेशर होगा तो एनवायरमेंटल डिस्टर्बेंस आ जाएगी. Therefore, we need eco-friendly technologies which will help in sustainable development in different circumstances. और हमें अपने ट्रेडिशनल मेथड्स पे वापस जाना पड़ेगा. Why? Because using too much fertilizer, using too much pesticide only ruins the soil, only disturbs the environment. So today we can't look at the environment and rural development as two distinct subjects. There is need to invent or procure alternate set of eco-friendly technologies that lead to sustainable development in different circumstances. From these, each rural community can choose whatever will suit its purpose. So we need to make changes in our policies. We need to invest in agriculture and its allied activities. We need to make proper policies to make the best of this big population and depending too much on agriculture. So I hope all the concepts are clear to you. Listen to the video twice, thrice. Happy learning with Bhargav Man. Like and subscribe the video so that you continuously get the notification of my new videos.